Oh, there it goes. It's showing. It's showing. So it's right now saying 354 on my screen. What does it say on yours?
Hang on. 344, 343, 342, 341.
Oh, I mean, 342?
Yeah.
Dude, we have like a 2-second delay.
Yeah, it's not that long. I mean, on my screen, it is a... Hang on, let me tell you. I'll tell you exactly. We are at 7-second delay. So yeah, we're only at. So are we just gonna? Should we forego the time?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just jump in here. Go ahead and mute us and
let's get the show started.
Let's get the show started.
This is Finity from Reality Skewed Gamers, and you are listening to the Escape Podcast on the Escape Pod Castaways Network. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Jedi and Sith, Yoda of all ages. Ooh, let's get ready to podcast.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast,
we have a little new content, Paul.
Yes, we do. We get the release of Boss Poe, as we're going to call him.
Does that make the other one...
Whoa. Not during the open.
You started it.
No, all right. We did get a State of the Galaxy.
But you are telling me it is not as rose-colored as they make it.
No, it's not. And I'll give you the state of the Planetary Systems in our second segment. And a little bit about something you like. GAC?
Well, we get new info on ships, but who could be the fleet commanders?
You know what? Let's go to Speculation Station and talk with Thaddeus from Going Nerdy about that in our third segment.
And aren't we doing something else with him?
Yeah, we are. We're going to give our listeners a sneak peek of Talking Picard this week on our bridge.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Escape Podcast. Hello there, everybody. Hello, friends. Hello, people. Paul, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. You have a special hello to say, don't you?
Yes, I do. I have a special hello to say. Hello, Amy. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? Sorry, that's my little girl. She's in the UK. I've got to say hello.
What time is it over there in the UK?
I know. You should be in bed, young lady. But I forgive you.
Well, guys, welcome into this week's edition of the Escape Podcast. And we got, as we said, we got our first little drop in the bucket of the 2020 content ocean, as we were promised.
Yeah, an ocean of content we got, didn't we? An absolute ocean of it.
Yes, I know I have your name misspelled, Zaz. We're taking care of it next. We've got one more before we change the Patreon. Right now is a great time to jump on the Patreon. We'll get you in there as soon as possible. But guys, thank you so much for showing up today. We're going to, in segment 4, we're going to give you a preview of Talking Picard, which if you're nerds like us, you'll stick around. If you're a Star Wars purist and you hate Trekkies with all your might, we do reference a little bit of Star Wars in there, so it won't be that bad.
Mm-hmm. I hope not.
Now, what's that?
I hope it's not that bad.
All right. So, oh man, I was That's what I was doing. I was heading over to the forums.
Yeah, I know. I've got the forums. See, I beat you to it. I've got the forums open in front of me. My God. You need to observe, you need to observe the 5 Ps.
What's that?
Sorry, the 6 Ps. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Well, gee, normally it's the other way around.
No. We are not blaming me. Episode 1 went flawlessly, and it went flawlessly because we did a test run. We did a test run of this episode, so this episode is going to be flawless. Flawless, I tell you.
We hope.
No, it will be.
All right.
This is the way, and I have spoken.
Okay. You can't just lay claim to those catchphrases.
I think I just did.
All right. So our ocean of content that we got here was we got our Resistance Poe and Resistance Finn kits. We got a rework or what did they call it? A fine tune of the Finn kit.
Yeah. Well, if they're not testing it, they have to do these things. If they're not gonna, if this stuff isn't gonna be, adequately, sufficiently beta tested, then things like this are going to happen. Things like this are going to occur. So, the fine tuning seems to have worked because it's Finn, Poe, JTR, and throw in an R2 and a BB-8, throw an R2 and a BB-8 in there, and it's taking out Sith Empire teams. It's taking out Sith Empire teams. It's taking out Padme teams. So whatever fine tuning they did to him, it's working, and they got it just in time, just before the lock-in on GAC. And, so anybody that wailed on them is really, really going to have a big advantage. People are going to be putting their Sith Empire teams on. They've got the new Poe, they've got Boss Poe, and they've got Boss Finn. I'm not worried about that. And then they'll look and they'll be like, "What? One shot? My Sith Empire got one shot?" Because that's what's going to happen. These guys will one shot Sith Empire. No more having to save 2 teams to get past Sith Empire and get past Malik. It is one shotting them.
And hello to Darth Scion, 1972. Good to see you. Welcome into the show. If you're on our Discord, check out the PA. I'm not going to go much into detail on the podcast itself, but there's a call to action for you guys if you are on the Discord. Check out the PA. Tragedy has struck, and it's time for the community to come together again. And it's not for me. You guys came to me when it was time. This is absolutely not for me. This is for not even I'm not part of an alliance. I'm not, this is just our community banding together to overcome tragedy. So check that out. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But to those affected, the Escape Podcast, we love you. We love you. We really do.
We do.
So we got the new Poe. They're doing it's like
Indiana Poe,
as you said.
Dora the Explorer. Looks like an archaeologist Poe.
Indiana Poe.
Indiana Poe. Yes, it's. Cubs showed somebody that did a mock-up of Indiana Poe, and it looked awesome. And before I was thinking it, and then Cubs said it. Wish they'd been out of photoshopping the fedora, because it just would have looked so good.
Did do that.
So I'm sure there's somebody out. What somebody needs to do is somebody needs to just take the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark poster and put Poe's face on it, and it would just look exactly the same. So we've got the fedora, we've got the ripped shirt, and we've got the bullwhip. So yeah. But there was a bit in the state of the galaxy, wasn't there?
There was a little bit in the state of the galaxy, and Brian in the chat on the live YouTube version. No, you didn't miss anything. We're just getting started. We started at 7:30 now, 7:30 Central. Nev and I's time. So we got the State of the Galaxy. They said the year of 2020, or the year is 2020, and we have another exciting year of Galaxy Heroes planned for you. We're back from the holidays, and we want to briefly discuss Galactic Legends. So, I'm not going to read it word for word. I'm not the audiobook version of the forums. That's not what we're here to do. They did mention that Galactic Legends are going to be 7-star unlocks. Thoughts on that, Nev?
Thank God. Because the 5-star unlock and then having to use GET currency to get 6 and 7 is complete and utter rubbish.
Yeah.
I know rubbish is a highly subjective. It's poor. It's a very, very poor way of making people fight. If you're gonna make people go all out in order to get a character that is, obviously it was called Epic Confrontation, not Legendary, then the reward should be a 7-star character, not a 5-star character that you then have to continuously farm and be in a decent guild in order to achieve the GET currency to upgrade. So yeah, returning to 7-star is brilliant. But gas, the whole gas thing, the Gas and Malik, I mean, they're going to have to. They're the token story. People coming into this game, a year from now, 2 years from now, they'll be like, what? What do you mean I only get them at 5 stars? I took this character to gear 13. I took this character to gear 13, relic 7, and this one to get, and I only get a 5-star gas. What's the, that is, it's annoying for whales. If you're whaling on characters in order to get the next OP character that's the new meta, then it should be 7 stars. So I'm glad they're returning to 7 stars.
Your daughter wants to know how Baby Yoda pom-poms are coming.
Still making the pom-poms, sweetheart. Still making the pom-poms. I haven't put together a Baby Yoda yet, but I am making the pom-poms.
So
I've got another visitor here now.
Oh, they're back live on the stream. Everybody, welcome Baby Air.
This is my niece.
Niece Air, but still. So we're going down the list here. We did also find out just before that in the thing here that the legends are coming in March. They gave us a date, or rather a time frame. So I'm excited that we're going to be able to get them in March.
It'd be nice to know what the 15 characters / ships are, though.
Well, they did mention that they're going to be rolling that out over the, we have until March to find that out.
Yeah, true. And obviously, the big thing in March. Hang on a minute. Obviously, the big thing in March. No. I was just redoing my sound sponge thing. Obviously, the big thing. The big thing in March is the road ahead. I just hope we get a better road ahead this year than we did last year, because last year's road ahead left a lot to be desired.
It did. But know that you're probably going to need resistance and first order. But that's just me.
Yeah. I think that's an obvious one. That's definitely an obvious one. We are going to need. It's not knowing how many characters to ship. What the character to ship? I mean, the character to ship ratio. That's the one that's bugging me. Is it going to be 10 characters on 5 ships? Is it going to be, close to half and half? Is it going to be 7 and 8? Is it going to be 13 and 3?
I think it's going to be 8 character. I think it's going to be 7 characters, 8 ships. I think you're going to need 7-star, because we were also told that we're getting, and we'll get into the speculation of who's going to be the fleet commander of this ship itself. But we know we're getting the Radis, and we know we're getting the Finalizer.
So, I mean, it would make sense that you require the Resistance capital ship and a bunch of Resistance ships to get Kylo, and vice versa for Rey. Because what the way I see it is the 7 characters you're gonna need 1, 2, 3 plus the 4. So you're gonna need to get these capital ships up to 7 stars. So you're gonna need 7 ships to go with the capital ship, and then like you said, the capital ship would be 1, 7. So 8 ships. It's going to be 8 ships, and then 7 characters. How many battles those 7 characters have to do, and how many battles? I imagine it's probably just going to be one. I reckon it'd just be one ship battle.
There's got to be a one-on-one for characters. You're going to use the same character. Used Revan, and then some of his buddies, and one of his buddies, and things like that all throughout. Darth Rada mentions that what's bugging
See you later, sweetheart. Sorry.
It's okay. He says what's bugging him is not the characters, but the gear. It's going to be a classic move that will have time to farm the characters, but the gear will be the paywall. Gear has always been the paywall, no matter what in this game.
Yeah.
It is the gear.
Especially since the introduction of the Kairos.
The Kairos and then relics, because relics only take certain things. I've got plenty of the far end relic stuff. I've got plenty of the early relic stuff. What I don't have is that 4th piece for the relic gear that I'm going to have to farm gear to make relic gear.
Yeah. It's tough, slow for free, painfully slow for free to play. But much considerably easier for whales. Much easier for whales. But not you know what I mean? I don't mean it's easy. It's still a grind whether you're a whale or whether you're free to play. I'm simply saying that it's more of a grind for free to play than it is for whales. You
ready to see my grind for if I was a whale?
Go on then.
There you go. It's my wallet.
Yeah. Yes, but I don't do that.
I know you don't.
I don't do that, and I took 4 of the Pom-Pom-tastic account to Gear 13 and Relic 3, 3'd them and 4'd them. And that was the last time I was able to, I had hoarded sufficient enough. I thought I'd hoarded enough to be able to do 3 and then work on a 4th and a 5th. But it's taken me forever to Gear 13 my Chewie in my hand. And yeah, it is so grindy.
Well, you did that to yourself.
Huh?
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, I did that to myself. But I'm close. I'm close to JTR. I am close to JTR. I always said that around about October I was going to start farming Resistance hard, in anticipation for them needing to do something regarding Episode 9 and new characters, and Galactic Legends is it. So. I'm looking forward to what happens in March. Whatever happens, it's a new event, it's new content. Even if it is just one. No, it won't just be just one. It would be 2. It would be 2 because obviously it's Rey and Kylo. So I hope that they're successful enough that CG then think, okay, this Galactic Legends has been successful. Let's do another Galactic Legends in quick succession. I would very much like to see another one quickly. I think there are factions, obvious factions where they could give us Galactic Legends. I mean, we've got enough Rebels to be able to do a Jedi Knight Luke. We've got enough Clone Wars era stuff to give us, a Boss Windu. We've got enough Sith to give us, some more Darths. Make a Darth Plagueis. I don't know, anything. Give us Sidious's Master. It's anything. Because it's going to be a same format. A few character battles and then finish off with an epic fleet battle. And we've got enough Galactic Republic to be able to do that, and we've got enough rebel ships to be. So I'm just thinking, long term, future term for the Galactic Republic format. We have rebels and rebel ships, and we have Galactic Republic and Galactic Republic ships that they would be able to drop those types of. The two obvious ones to me would be a badass Mace Windu and Jedi Knight Luke, because the ship reward, they have to give us a Jedi Knight Luke before they give us his X-wing, in my opinion. And Luke's X-wing has to be the reward for the ship, for a Death Star ship raid. It has to be.
I would love to see it. By the way, Xylo Takedown, one of the newest confirmed members of the Escape Pod Castaways Network, says that you're making him want to bring his alt back, Nev.
Oh, yes. You should be bringing it. Yes, bring it back. Bring it back. I mean, this is this Galactic, this GAC is an important one for me. It's a sad one for me because after this GAC, I am reducing the amount of counts, the amount of counts I'm going to be playing. I've already mothballed 2 accounts. Right.
We'll talk
in
about GAC.
In the next segment.
In the second segment. But other than these things, we got the State of the Galaxy. Let me bring it back up here. We got the State of the Galaxy.
Upcoming releases.
Yeah, the upcoming releases, and then they talked about the Kiadi Mundi and Wat Tambor bugs.
Mm-hmm.
They took care of that. Now, the rest of the way was just basically saying that they gave the shards out, Grand Arenas starting, which we'll get into. And then the Hyena Bomber's finally farmable.
I'm so happy that I can farm that bad boy on the Horde account.
And it's actually on a really good node.
Yeah, it's on a brilliant node because you get JCs, you get 2 ships. I love double nodes. Double nodes are awesome. When you get
double
a character and a ship.
The gear is good.
Sorry?
The gear is good.
Oh, right. What's the gear? I didn't realize what the gear was.
Yeah, I've been getting reports that this gear is one of the ones that is a big crunch. I'm pulling up the game right now.
I'm sorry. Hey, it may be a good node, but it's still not as good as the Jango Fett node. It's nothing beats that node. Awesome gear. Awesome gear, Jango Fett shards and Houndstooth shards. Nothing beats that node. That is the best node in the game still.
It's 8D if I'm correct.
Yes.
Dark Side Battle 8.
It's 8 something.
And it includes
cuffs and comms.
Includes the comlink.
Comlink and cuffs, stun cuffs.
And stun cuffs.
And stun cuffs. That is a good node. That is a really that is close.
So, in my opinion, that does kind of beat the Django node.
No, come on. Look, as much as I love the Hyena shards because it's a crewless ship, which means you don't have to farm the crew and the ship. It's going to be brilliant for the Horde account. I am 25 shards away from getting my Malevolence. My Geos are maxed out. My Vulture Droid is at 5 stars. So being able to farm the Hyena Bomber means I'm going to be able to get, a maxed out Separatist squad, which is great. Because don't get me wrong, I've got IG-2000 as well, because obviously droid ship and all. But yeah, I'm clinging on to my Arena Shard for dear life in the top 10. I'm clinging on to the top 10 bite for dear life. I kid you, my GP, I'm using a 4-star. I'm using a 4-star Akbar with my Separatists. My GP is 175, and I'm competing against people that are 230 to 300, and I'm still in the top 10. It is awesome, but having a 4-star Hyena Bomber, it makes it that much more grindy. It's completely RNG. So being able to farm that ship. It was the best bit of news that came into the game as far as I'm concerned. And everybody should be farming that node.
And breaking news, Xylo says that he's going to do it. He's going to bring back the alt account, his fun account.
Your fun account. What's the GP at, Xylo?
Yeah, we'll find that out here in just a second. We also are getting reports of login issues. They've been talking about login
some
issues.
people have been saying that there have been login issues with iOS, and there have been not just login issues, purchase issues as well with iOS.
Well, purchase issues apparently have been fixed. It's now
okay.
just
good news.
login
That's
issues. Good. I haven't logged in.
I've got the forum up at the moment, so let's see what it says. Live. Breaking news.
All it really says is that they're aware that some people are not able to log in, and just head over to the Answers HQ, which is EA's.
Oh God, yeah. Go speak to a faceless person.
Yeah, go speak to a faceless person and tell them the make and model, the version, your ally code, and are you experiencing this issue on multiple devices? So essentially, they're trying to catch people who are playing on multiple devices.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be me. That would be me. I play on my tablet and I play on BlueStacks.
Right.
Oh, I don't care. That's what I say to that.
Helenix makes a great point in the chat. He says, CG fixed those purchasing issues really quick. Login issues? Nah, we'll investigate it over the weekend.
Yeah. This is CG. They're playing the smallest violin in the world just for the non-whales. Although I would say if you're a Kraken and you're reporting login issues, they're probably on it.
All right, let's go ahead and head to our first break, because we were given the state of the galaxy, and as Nev, how much do you know U.S. politics?
A lot.
Okay, so you know that there's a rebuttal to the State of the Galaxy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a State of the Union address.
Yeah.
Well, coming up after this break, I am going to give you the state of the planetary systems, also known as our guilds, in our State of the Galaxy rebuttal, right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/The Escape Pod to sign up.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details.
G'day everyone, and welcome to 5 Good Minutes with Clone Scotty. Give me a sec. I'm being flushed away!
Scotty, for goodness sake, Scotty, no. Right, okay, best throw out another one then. For goodness sake, Heinzie, your clones absolutely suck.
The death of that Scotty clone will be on your hands, you jackasses.
This is Hellenix.
Hashtag shameless self-promotion.
And you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast, part of the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
The Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back to the Escape Pod Cast. We're into our segment 2. Paul, how you feeling?
I'm hanging in there, doing the best I can. Not as sick as I was last week, though. That's for good.
Oh God, yeah, it was a nightmare. Trying to play Runes of Magic with you because you're there, but you wouldn't speak, so everything was in party chat. It was an absolute nightmare.
Oh, whatever. I'm the one who had to listen to you listening to Steel Panther or whatever you were listening to.
It wasn't Steel Panther. It wasn't Steel Panther. It was White Pigeon. You know?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Pigeon.
Insert adjective here. Insert animal here. White snake. Steel Panther.
Yeah, that's good music. Don't mock it. It was good music. I was playing some good. Those were good quality tunes I was playing.
The fact that I had to listen to you playing it all the time, and I'm sitting there, I'm the only way that I can listen is Black Bear, as Biscuit Weasel says.
Yeah, look, I only play good quality music. I've only got like 5 CDs on my computer desk. The Hives,
it's all right.
White Pigeon,
that's all right.
Susan Vega, Lenny Kravitz, and Goldfrapp.
So let's go ahead and it's time to get serious here, Nev.
Okay.
It really is time to get serious here. So I sat down after we got everything ready yesterday, and I wrote my rebuttal to the state of the galaxy. All right. You ready?
Yep. Hit me.
All right. I've got this up on the screen. Hopefully I can get through it. Ladies and gentlemen, members of our community and Capital Games, I'm here before you this evening to bring you the state of the Planetary Systems, also known as guilds and alliances. From reports in the many alliance servers that I'm in, and the activity of the recruiting servers as of lately, movement is happening at a very feverish pace, and therefore, I regret to report that the state of our community is concerning. The sky is not falling, but we are receiving reports of precipitation. When I started this podcast nearly 1 year ago, I wanted to be a beacon of positivity in a naysayer's world of negative reporting and panic amongst the content creators network that was out there losing their minds. Now, I admit that at times I have been upset with decisions made by EA or Capital Games, and maybe my words have come out harsher than I intended. Then, that pledge to attempt to be a positive creator as I could be failed. But if I have come off too negative to anyone, I do apologize. That was not the intention. On the other hand, when guilds and alliances are falling apart and our community is feeling pain, I will not back down from reporting it. Just this past week, the guild that I'm in, and the guild that I've been in since December of 2017, experienced its largest loss of members since the Sith raid. Some left entirely. Some moved to guilds that made more sense for them. But one in particular hit me very hard. The loss of my friend, Darthy McVictus, also known as Run DMV, or if you're in our Discord server, the guy who can't stop posting cat gifs. I'd like to take a moment and read for you his parting message that was posted in our Discord server on why he left our competitive guild. Some words have been changed to make it a little bit more family friendly, but the power of what he said will remain. And this was Darthy McVictus. After this light side geo-territory battle, I've spent about 10,000 on this game in the 4 years of playing for an irrelevant roster and unplayable content. There's no real fun mode in this game. The best mode that this game has right now is Discord meme rooms and the community. I can't compete in any real mode now. So with that, I am hanging up my Jawa robes. I'm going to retire to a Hoth guild where new players are trying for heroic rancor and tank just to put my antiquated roster to good use. It's sad. The group I am with now is a dedicated group of players who are amazing and fun people. I am just to the point where I have no motivation to chase the meta. Farm for an unplayable game mode at anything less than Relic 7, also known as Lightside Geonosis Territory Battle, or even attempt to gear up characters that are going to be irrelevant by the time that I gear them up to relevancy. CG and EA could do a lot to fix this game to keep the player base engaged and striving to get better at the new content. They could start by increasing drop rates to ease the time that it takes for a character to be useful. Scale back Lightside Geonosis Territory Battle difficulty to at least mirror Darkside Geonosis Territory Battle. The big one is increasing drop rates. Seriously, it takes a good 2 months at free-to-play to take a 5-star character team or a 5-character team to gear 13, and that's not counting the shards. That's just gears, relics, and ability mats. Now on track for shard farming. You're looking at 6 months. By then, it's not relevant. It's playable, but not relevant. How do you expect players to stay engaged when you cannot even use the toys from anywhere to 2 to 6 months? Dorothy McVictus continues. It is sad. It makes me sad. I love Star Wars. I love this community and all that it does. The people I have met and the friends that I have made. With a heavy heart, I am retiring to a soft guild and possibly retiring altogether if there's no joy in that. I will keep an eye on this game in hopes that CG does something to fix this mass exodus. Here's my parting thought, and it may be crass and vulgar. This is a message to all guilds. And Dorothy McVictus wraps it up by saying, Lightside Geonosis Territory builds all over need to say, F my cam shards, F my ship currency, and band together. Really take into consideration hashtag stay in Hoth. And yes, I'm talking to you, Whale and Kraken guilds. If this game keeps losing players and you won't have anyone to play against, CG will quit creating new content, and all that money you will have put into this game will be worthless. So it's really up to everyone to say, do I really need cam shards for a game that at this rate is dying a slow death? Band together and F it. That was Dorothy McVictus.
No, I thought that was very articulate.
Now, I wrote a little bit more here. You know, I'm not one to go as far as run DMV and say that this game is dying. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. But it is the sentiment that I'm hearing from members of the community on a nearly weekly basis. That my guild has lost 4 members this week due to retirement, or we can't find players to fill the holes in our roster at our level that are coming from the other side of the coin. Recruiting shouldn't be a full-time job for some of our best and brightest minds. This tension pours into officer chats, and it pours into guild chats, and it causes splits amongst members that lead to quitting, and even more because disagreements come up about if a person is worthy or not to join your guild. Yes, some members need to be held accountable for their roster and how they're progressing, but every time that happens, someone walks away upset and hurt. Sometimes the person being questioned, sometimes the questioner. Player engagement is waning because the hard questions are not being answered. The content coming is held so close to CG's vest that they're bending the cards. It should not be up to us entirely to keep this community together. Capital Games, step up and have a community day, not a community bundle sale. Reach out to those of us who have our arms out to welcome you in. You are working with swago.gg to give us a quality of life that should be in this game instead of on a website. That's a start, though. But there are so many other great services and content creators out there. Content is not just us. It's not just Cubs or Biscuit Weasel or Heinzie sitting in front of a camera or a microphone. Content is also meaningful interaction with the community. It's puzzles. It's live video Q&As. It's regularly scheduled newsletters with a fun team comp in it. Your community already does things like this on their own. Share this part of the community with more people playing the game and let them see that we are all here for each other and not only fighting each other in territory wars and Grand Arena championships. Those that naysay it will be shown to be jealous. Their true colors. You know, if they go forward and they say, "Oh, that's stupid," they're just jealous. Do you want a way to show people who they truly are? Lift up someone else and see if they applaud them or if they try to tear them down. This has been the state of the planetary systems as seen by me, Paul Anthony of the Escape Podcast. May the force be with you all. I'll now relinquish my soapbox back to you, Neil.
Yeah, I agree with 99/98, maybe 97% of that. There's one thing I disagree on. There's one thing I disagree on, and you know I've bashed the naysayers and the Doom Seekers and all of that. I've been, I was bashing them prior to the Hyperdrive bundle. I was the one saying no, it's not happening. It's never going to happen. Game's not dying. There are more free to play. There are more new players coming into the game than we were losing through attrition. But competitive free to play is dead. It's dead. There is, to me, there is zero argument on this. Okay, there is no argument about this. Competitive free to play is dead. Arnold has got a brand new free to play and a free to play, and a hyperdrive. Thaddeus has just started one. I've got one. I mean, the one that I've got has been running for 4 months, and I'm still struggling against hyperdrive bundles that started, soon. Not that long. Not that long ago. Maybe a month ago. Okay. My arena shard. There is one person who is free to play. Other than me, in the top 100 of my arena shard that I know of. I mean, I was chatting on my Discord server with a good 20 to 30 people. And I say that they're the free to play because it was an even split. The top 50, half of them were whales after, because a lot of people hoarded and then instantly whaled, before we're talking about people that whaled before the hyperdrive bundle. And you could tell there was a split in the top 50, and you could tell who was free to play, and you could tell who was a whale because the whales had gear 6, gear 13 tier characters just through natural whaling, and then some of us, the free to play, we were still kind of hanging around 78, 79, 80 while they were already at 85. Okay, and within days of the hyperdrive bundle coming, we were all knocked out of the top 200. And I clawed my way back to the top 100. I cannot find a single individual player other than Private Stash, who is a guy that's in my arena shard, and he's been knocked out of the top 50, and he had a much better roster than me.
I'm very glad that Private Stash, of all the names you threw out there, Private Stash was one of my very favorite names that you talked about. So I'm glad that he's still around.
He's still there, but he is hanging on. We are both hanging on for dear life. He's hanging in there considerably better. He hit 85 before I hit 85, so he farmed the Game Boy Advance hard. I mean, he went really, really hard on it. And it was probably one of the best decisions he made because everybody else was going for Revan teams. And, a Revan team is expensive. You need 6 Zetas for a Revan team. For a Game Boy Advance team, you need 2. So it was a very, very clever decision for somebody at free to play to make. He farmed that Game Boy Advance hard. And, he goes in there with Geos and hit that, he can climb he gets knocked back outside the top 50, but he's able to climb back into the top 50. And he is the only other free-to-play left in my arena shard. That's 2 of us. 3 months ago, half the top 100 was free to play. And they've all gone. They've all gone. I mean, maybe they shouldn't have farmed separatists. Maybe they shouldn't have gone down the separatist route. But, you know, some people went down different routes. And that is why I say competitive free-to-play is dead. Okay? People... Anybody out there can. I'm happy. You know, come to the Patreon chat. Come to my Discord. I am more than happy to legitimize my arguments. You know, I am more than happy to have one-on-one conversations with people. Present your argument to me. Oh no, competitive free-to-play is not dead. Really, you know. But explain to me how someone at level 28 or 38 or 48 or 58 or 68 or 78 can compete with someone that goes to 85 immediately. It's just not physically possible. Okay.
And the link for your server is right down there in the description.
Yes, and the link for it's down there, and it is not. Yes. You
come to our server.
You can free to play it. Okay. Here's the thing: if you want to free to play and be an arena shot, you're not going to compete. You're not going to get the crystal shards from Fleet Arena, and you're not going to get the crystal rewards. If you're lucky, you'll get 50. If you're lucky, you'll get 50 if you're in the top 50 of Fleet Arena. And if you make it into the top 200, you'll pick up 70, okay? 75. So if you're lucky, you'll make 125 crystals from that. It's not enough to do the solid farm that I've been doing on my Horde account since the beginning. I've been spending 250 to 350 crystals on the farming alone every day. That's 50 on Fleet Arena, 150 on regular, and 100 on Cantina. If I wasn't doing that, my squad wouldn't be where it is, and I wouldn't be as ready as I am for GAC. And that's why I'm in gear. It's why I'm in Division 10 and not Division 11. And the only reason why I am still a competitive free-to-play is because I was already at level 78 when the Hyperdrive bundle came out. And I'd been spending 300 crystals every single day on farming. So I had my Jedi, and that's why I only got I mean, I was lucky. I only got knocked back beyond 200. Okay, and I slowly, over the first few weeks of the Hyperdrive bundle, I clawed my way back to finishing consistently in the top 100 by taking my Bastilla, my Yoda, and my GK to Gear 11. I mean, they're not maxed. They weren't, they weren't maxed out stars, but just having them at Gear 11 and having them Omega, that was enough for me to hold on to it, climb to top 100, knockout climb. That's it. Nobody else is doing that though. And that is why, from a State of the Union, it is dead, and the game may not be dying, but I would love to see the figures. You need X amount of free-to-play in this game playing to cover for the attrition of whales, dolphins, and krakens leaving the game. If you've got more people leaving than coming in, then by definition, it's dying. Now, I don't know if more people are leaving than coming in, but I'm scared to speculate because I know from my arena shard just how many free to play are still in it, and it's non-existent. Especially the top 200, top 100, the free to play. You can just look at the people in it. No free to plays, all hyperdrive bundles. Okay, people want to play this game but don't have $100.
Hellenics puts it perfectly when he says, what's the most important? This is always what you and I have been preaching, Nev. What's most important is that we have fun. Do whatever makes playing fun and interact with the community, because it's way more, he likes to use the word fun, than anything else.
Yeah, I see your comment, Dagger. I'm not talking about competitive free-to-play veterans. I'm talking. This is a new. That's why I'm talking about new players. I specifically mentioned new players coming in and old players leaving. We need more new players coming in than old players leaving in order to keep the game healthy. If more people are leaving than coming in, then that is that is by definition a game that is not healthy. It's not doing well. I'm not talking about Pom-Pom-tastic is free to play veteran. Hyperdrive bundles aren't going to make any difference to me whatsoever from a competitive point of view. I'm talking about new people coming in. Just new people coming in.
Let's take the Hellenics route here, Niv. Let's take the Hellenics route and finally talk about what you like to have fun with and how many accounts are, I promised I'd get into this. And did I read you right earlier? How many accounts are you running for GAC this time around?
This time around, it's my swan song. This GAC is my swan song on multiple accounts. I'm running 5. But it is the first, last, and only time I'm doing it. After this GAC, it's down to 2 accounts. I've already mothballed. I've already 3 of the accounts that I'm doing this one-off GAC for. I've already mothballed them, so I've already left the guilds. They're not in guilds. I'm not going to be playing them. That's it. That's why this is kind of like the end. It's the Merc account. I might, every now and then I might log in just to collect a few things here and there. Just for shits and giggles. But yeah, I'm going for quintuple Kyber. I just thought sod it. The first time any of these accounts doesn't get placed in a group of 8, that'll be it. I will instantly revert to just doing the Horde and just doing Pom-Pom-tastic, because I'm sick and tired of working my ass off to do things that haven't been done before, to be screwed over by broken games. So
Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, hello and welcome into the chat. We'll be talking to you in just a moment. He does ask that you don't want to start a new account with Nerdy, only if it's called a test account, Thad.
Yeah, only if it's a test account. Yeah, if I would definitely do I would definitely run a test account. Yeah, that would be fun. Obviously, for a short period of time. Everybody that has a test account tells me, it gets real boring real fast. I'm like, I don't care. I've never had one. So if I had a test account, I would be like a kid in a candy store. It'd be like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Or me in Runes of Magic seeing something to farm.
Yeah, or you are a nightmare in that. It's like, just I kid you not. We'll be playing Runes of Magic, and there'll be like a group of 4 of us, a group of 3, or a group of 4 of us, and we'll be doing something, and he'll just stop dead. Ooh, shiny. He'll just see some random piece of random piece of ore on the side of the road, and he'll just start. So we're all as a group trying to go off and do some quest, and he expects us to just drop everything. Oh, shiny! It's a nightmare. It's like James Woods. He really, really is like James Woods in that episode of Family Guy. Where it's, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, it's just one track mind. He just shuts down. So sorry, tangent. Yeah, if you've got to tune into that when we're playing that live just to witness it firsthand. And I kid you not, you will laugh your head off, because you'll be like, oh yeah, what are they doing now? Ooh, shiny. That's his new catchphrase. Ooh, shiny. We take the piss out of him on when we're playing the game for doing it all the time. Oh, got some shiny here, Paul. Do you want it?
Ooh, piece of candy. All right. So with this GAC, they did release that it's Sith month.
Yeah, and it's season 5, not season 4. That is a typo. They've made typos on the forum before. This is the 5th. This is GAC 5. This is season 5. It's not 4. It's 5.
Well, it's
5.
It's the 5th themed one, or it's the 4th themed one. How about that?
Well, we had the standard theme, then they brought out Resistance, then they did the Resistance and First Order one, and now they're doing
we had Separatists and clones together. We had Clone Wars themed, then we had Resistance, then we had First Order, and then finally we ended up with we're now on Sith.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a 5th theme. Yeah, it's one of the themes. Yeah, it's one of the 5th themes. But,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. So anything that you're going for in those feats, anything that you think as far as the feats sounds interesting to try?
I like the double-bladed one, the brothers one, Maul and Savage. But I don't have Savage on either of the Horde or I don't have enough Sith, to be perfectly honest with you. Pom-Pom-Tastic's got a few Sith on it, so I can have a play with that. And my phone one, my iOS one, that's got a few on it as well. I'll just have to wait and see. You know the feats I go. I mean, the main feats I go for are the undersized victories, because when you go through step 1, step 2, and step 3, you get a lot of bonus banners for the undersized. There'll be some debuff ones in there, no doubt. I've got a decent Treya. I've got a decent not Malik. I've got a decent Darth Revan. So I'll be saving my Treya, my Sith Triumvirate, and my Darth Revan for those feats. So I'd like to think I'll be able to get a good deal of them.
Hellenix has a good point here. He says, wasn't the first GAC considered an exhibition one and not an actual season?
Yes, that it was exhibition, and then we've had 5. This is the 5th official season after the exhibition. There was an exhibition one, then we went season 1, GAC. Look, I've streamed every single GAC. Go to my channel, go to my channel. I made a bloody playlist of all my GACs. I labeled it GAC. I labeled it an exhibition, and then every GAC afterwards is #1, #2, #3, #4. This will be #5. Okay. The GAC is my thing. Don't screw it. Oh, don't question me on GAC, Hellenix. Do not make me come to the great estate of New York and.
The greater New York City area.
Don't make me do an Urs on you.
God.
I haven't got the sound effect.
Please, I hope you don't have the sound effect.
I don't have the sound effect. If I had the sound effect, we'd be getting copyright struck by Urs. Now, Urs doesn't care. He's live streaming.
Well, he's not crossing the streams for this whole Grand Arena Championship.
No, there's no GAC crossing of the streams.
All right. Well, with that being said, I feel some speculation coming on, Nev. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do some speculation. Hang on a minute. Somebody has asked. Sorry, Bringer of Chaos asked a question. Sorry to go back. My apologies.
You're fine.
Being free to play since start, I'm always wondering how much people spend. How much did you spend on this game? And that's to both of us. Bringer of Chaos. 0. I've spent nothing, nada, not a single penny on this game. Paul, do you want to answer?
I would say probably over the course of 4 years, I've probably spent about 1,500 over the course of 4 years.
And I've spent nothing. And you look at Paul's main account and my main account, and it shows, because my main account's like 3.6. 3.7, but I mean, right? I didn't. I wasn't part of the November I wasn't part of the November beta. I didn't start playing until end of December. I wasn't in the month. A lot of people were in that pre-month. I wasn't. But yeah, I was free to play. I'd never spent a penny on it.
Now, looking at that. Does that make me a whale? Is this the Escape Whale podcast, as we were called?
No, the Escape Whale podcast. Yeah,
that's what we were called by Mobile Kraken Gamer.
That was Mobile Kraken Gamer. Yeah. Sorry, no. I would describe it as Mobile Leviathan Gamer. Mobile Leviathan Gamer. You're a what? You're just. I mean, I'd say you're not even a whale. You're a dolphin / porpoise. How many years you've been playing? 3?
4.
4. So split that 50. So you've been doing 3 digits a year. And if you broke that 3 digits down into months, you're talking double digits. So you're just an ickle dolphin, maybe a porpoise. You're a dying breed when you think about it. You are a dying breed.
Dolphin. Now, how much have I spent lately? You know, honestly, I think that I've only purchased the little packs, the ones that give you that 4th star. I think that's the only thing that I've purchased.
Okay, there we go. Bringer of Chaos, there you go, mate. You were a new name in the chat, so I thought, you know, somebody new in the chat asks a question, kind of, yeah. It'd be rude not to answer because it was such an easy one. 0.
Yeah.
I've spent nothing on
For
this
you,
game.
it is. For you, it's easy.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, or you think that we should pull Thaddeus into here?
I think we should go to a break.
All right.
And then we should pull Thaddeus in.
Thaddeus is calling me an aggressive minnow.
An aggressive minnow. Yeah, no, that would work as well.
All right. So, guys, stick around. If there's any point in this broadcast that will goof up, it's going to be the next 10 minutes.
Oh, thank you. Your confidence in me is just outstanding.
I've
got my keypad. It's right here.
Well, make sure you just haven't hit number lock this time.
No, the number lock is on. Okay, the number lock is on. We are good to go.
I'm not saying you are going to screw up. I'm worried about the rush job that we did because we rushed to get here because we tried to fix something for this break that I hope will still work.
Dude,
that's
I'm a pro.
all I'm saying. I have faith,
bro.
I have faith, bro.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be right back after these messages on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod cast now offers our faithful listeners a way to show their support via merchandise. Declare your allegiance to Team Paul or Team Neil with official shirts. Get a story time with the llama button or magnet. Or just represent the show by getting an official logo hoodie. There are now even Team Scotty and Team Heinzie options available too. Become an official Padawan today. Check out the merch at escapepodcastaways.com.
The Escape Pod cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Padawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod cast for kids. This week, it is a 2-for-1 holotable special as we dive into what is one of the key tables for any hero, the mod challenges and the mod battles tables. Not to mention, our top 3 tips come directly from a very special hero. He's a friend to the podcast, a friend to me, and a friend to Biscuits Everywhere, TepCon's very own Biscuit Weasel. Now, both of these tables allow you to utilize your mod energy. In the beginning, you'll get most of your mods from the mod battles table. It's set up similarly to Cantina or Darkside and Lightside battles in that there are 9 levels that you can choose from, each having a different series of individual battles to take on. The first 8 levels are each devoted to a different mod type. There's 8. Health, Defense, Critical Damage, Critical Chance, Tenacity, Offense, Potency, and Speed. Each battle is a different mod shape. In these battles, you'll get your 1 and 2 star mods that are perfect for when you first start out. The battles get harder as you go up in levels, and each level is only unlocked when you hit the required player level. Now, the 9th level in these mod battles is where things get really interesting. Each battle in level 9 will reward you with mod splicing material to help you improve your mod stats. Now, your main source of mod farming for mid to end game is going to be from the mod challenges. When you jump into this holotable, you'll see 3 tiered challenge sets for each of the 8 different types of mods. Tier 1 of each challenge will earn you 3-star mods, Tier 2 earns you 4-star mods, and Tier 3 of the challenges will get you 5-star mods. It's important to remember that these challenges will earn you random mod pieces of every shape, so you better pray to RNGesus before you hit that battle button. Now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, Biscuit Weasel's top 3 mod tips for beginners. Tip number 1 is to farm the highest tier of health and speed mods as high as you can and as quickly as you can. They are a huge asset to your teams. Number 2 is to 3-star the 3rd tier of the speed mod challenges as soon as you can. Speed is king, and typically the side that takes the turn first is the one that comes out on top in your battles. Last, but certainly not least, is to upgrade each mod to unlock all 4 additional stats and sell any with no additional speed secondaries. Now, if you'd like to learn more about mods, check out Bisweez's modding series on his YouTube channel, Biscuits and Star Wars. Or, if you prefer to have someone else handle them for you, check out Micaeus Modding Mayhem, an official sponsor of the Escape Pod cast. That's all for me. Tune in next week for more story time with the Llama and the Escape Pod cast for kids.
The Escape Pod cast.
And welcome into this week's incoming transmission here on the Escape Pod cast. And as you see right down there, we have the man who's been on the most shows with us.
More times than we care to count.
But you know what? I am grateful every single time we get to talk to this man. He is the bread to our peanut butter and jelly. Ladies and gentlemen, the speculation king, Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. How are you doing, Thad?
I am wonderful and very excited to be on today, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And for those who have not listened to the first 2 segments and are jumping on live, guys, we're doing 2 segments with you this week, Thad. The
Correct.
First segment here is going to be all about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and our speculation of what is to come. But in the second segment, we are going to shift things around on the YouTube video, and we're going to be doing... We did a simulcast of Talking Mando before, but we are going to, since there's no Mando right now, and Clone Wars doesn't come till next week, or till next month, if you watch, as of 4 days ago, I think it was, if you watch 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, you will be caught up by the time the new season starts on February 21st. It's the best birthday gift I could ever get.
It's awesome.
But I digress. We'll be doing Talking Clones or Chatting Clones, whatever the hell we want to call it here. I like keeping with the talking theme.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing Talking Clones with you coming up next month. But
absolutely.
During downtime, and while this is being put out, we're going to be doing Talking Picard. Now, yes, but Paul, this is a Star Wars podcast. It's an escape pod cast. It's the 4th segment. The feedback that I get is no one listens to the 4th segment anyway. So we're going to talk Star Trek in the 4th segment, Talking Picard. But only this episode, maybe the one right before WrestleMania. I don't think that Picard will be going that long. But normally we'll be doing it Sundays on the Escape Podcast channel. And then we'll go back to Nerdy's channel for Talking Clones. But nonetheless, that's enough about the future. Let's talk about what may come in the future. And so we saved this for you. The big question that everybody has been asking. We know we're getting the finalizer.
Yes.
Hux, right?
I think so.
Am I wrong in just putting all my money on Hux?
No, I think you're absolutely right. If you go to, I did a video when this came out, and I talked about who is going to get the Radis, which would it be Leia or Holdo? And I point out that
right. Hang on, we'll get.
Well,
to that.
I won't get into that.
Get to that. Right now, we're talking finalizer.
But with the Hux, I just briefly go over Hux with the finalizer because it makes the most sense. If you look at the Wikipedia entry for this, it lists all of the captains that we know all the fleet commanders that we know in canon, and you've got Hux, you've got Phasma, you've got Kylo, and you've got some random dude. Right, it's clearly not going to be the random dude because that's not in keeping with this. Right, they're not going to introduce some stupid. Anyways, they're
not some random dude. That random dude was Adrian Edmondson. He is a British comedic treasure. How dare you refer to Adrian Edmondson as some random guy? He was the first order officer. He was the captain of
this one.
All right, so. In my defense, Nev, I'm not saying that the actor himself is some random guy, because clearly all of those actors are people who want to be there. Like most like side characters, side actors, like there's those hidden moments. I mean, look at Simon Pegg. No one would have looked at Simon Pegg and been like, oh, that's Unkar Plutt. If you didn't know it was Simon Pegg, you didn't know that it was Simon Pegg. And he is not some no-name actor. He has a very niche following. And at right now, he's more than niche in my mind.
He's huge.
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge. But my point is not the actor.
The character.
The character. You don't throw in a random character like that into a game like this. You make a big deal out of it. And again, in keeping with how they've introduced the kit for Resistance Hero Finn and Resistance Hero Poe, they've left some stuff out. And that's not anything new, but it's just the most recent recent way that they've done it, a recent character they've done it with. It makes sense that it's gonna be freaking what's his face, Hux. And because Phasma, no, I mean,
we did have Pow, so we do get random characters every once in a while,
but that was early in the game.
That was Biston and Pow.
Yeah, but they were randomized for the ship specifically.
Yeah. Knowing
which means they could randomly have that character introduced into the game in order to make him the captain of the ship. I mean, you think about it. You've got Stark and you've got Veers, very very small parts in the movies. Granted, they don't have ships. If they ever bring vehicles in, Viz gets damn at. So,
Viz becomes very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it would make Neil happy that another British actor's in the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I follow him on Twitter. His tweets are very funny.
I'll have to look him up. I just think that with everything, it's Hux. I don't think they're going to spend the time and energy getting the other guy, the actor, or the other commander. Phasma doesn't make any sense. Kylo, there's two Kylos, unless they introduce the newest Kylo, this Galactic Legends Kylo as a a fleet commander, I think that would be interesting. But again, this new Kylo's supposed to be amazing and just like off the chains awesome. And I don't see that happening necessarily. I think the hardest character that we'll get for a fleet commander or to get as a fleet commander will be Thrawn. But otherwise the finalizer all of a sudden becomes the brand new meta for a very long time. And I just don't see that happening.
I hope not. Yeah, I really hope not, because I just got with this past light side Geo battle. I finally got my malevolence to 7.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think either of the ships, either of the capital ships coming in, are going to create new metas. I think they're deliberately fastballing an extra 2 ships into the game very, very soon after we've had Malevolence and Negotiator in, to create a rock, paper, scissors fleet arena. That's the. I mean, this. I mean, my complaint is that I think I've heard a couple of other people complain is that there's too many ships compressed. We get nothing in fleet for a very long period of time, and then in less than 12 months we get 4 capital ships. I mean, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So 6 of one, half
and
a
a bunch of galactic chases.
So I don't think there is going to be any one new meta. But boy, did Warrior pick the wrong time to quit the game, because he was the aficionado when it came to theory crafting regarding ships. So I'm trying to think of anybody as good as him that is going to be a theory craft once these 2 ships comes out. And I don't get me wrong. I mean, Ian's great at theory crafting, but Ian's speciality is.
I was going to say
Ian's. It's just Ian's speciality is character theory crafting, not so much the ship theory crafting. So
I've got my eye on Heinze. Nev, and I'm sticking to that because he has done a lot of ship videos for ANZGC before he was Heinze.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah. That's good to know that there is somebody that we can go to regarding ships then. So, but yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move to the one that I stopped you at.
Okay.
The Radis, also known as the Lightspeed jumper that took out, guess who? The finalizer.
The Lightspeed missile.
Yep.
the hyperdrive bundle of ships.
Yep. Yep.
And you know that ship's going to have a special with like a 15 cooldown, insta kill everything.
Yeah.
If you haven't destroyed, if you haven't beat your opponent by 15 turns, insta kill everything.
I don't think it's going to be everything. I think it's going to be take out the capital ship, which means that no more reinforcements on the battlefield.
I could see that too.
Just down to what's on the field on both sides. That's what I think that it's going to be. And I would actually love that. And with that has to be Holdo. Because they're not going to let you battering ram with General Leia.
Yeah, not.
If it's General Leia, what's the special? Float back?
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
Poppins back to the ship. Yeah. I think
it would be the special would be a spoonful of sugar, and that spoonful of sugar would give every single ship, a load of buffs like like Bastilla bestows her buffs, a bunch of buffs on a character. I would like to see a special like that on a capital ship that does a bunch of buffs on all of the existing ships.
This is what's going to happen.
No,
okay,
and call it a spoonful of sugar.
Of sugar would make all the spoonful of sugar would make all the opponents' protection go down.
Go down.
Go down.
Protection go down. A spoonful
Oh
of
my
sugar
gosh.
makes the protection go down.
I feel like that needs to be put to music. I feel like
in the most delightful
In the most
way.
delightful way. You know me. Okay, I'm going to write that down in my notepad.
Yep.
Mary
Okay,
Poppins,
so this
a
is
spoonful of sugar parody.
This is what it is. If I were to theory craft a kit for Holdo's Radis, if you, I love what Paul said. I love the, take out the capital ship and you have to defeat what is ever on the playing field, right?
And you don't get reinforcements either.
Yeah, you don't get it either. So it's, you're both SOL if you don't have some strong ships. And that makes it a very strategic attack and a very strategic ship. So,
yeah,
do you use it early? Do you use later? Whatever. I think what you'll see is a defensive ability where Holdo throws junk in the way of the finalizer or other ships, and they attack that junk instead of your own characters, your own ships, right? Much like you saw in The Last Jedi where, they were taking out these empty ships. I say empty. You have that one guy who went down with his ship, and I'm like, why did you go down when everyone else safely evacuated? You didn't have to die, buddy. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But you
Don't
you
open
see
that can
those-
of worms.
I know, and I know that's why I moved away from it quickly. If you see that, if you have that, then your ships that can attack, all of a sudden become more, they don't get hit as often. They last longer. They last long enough for you to call in more reinforcements. Those reinforcements are then on the field and set the stage for Holdo's attack, which means you can your ships are good. There's still all that crap out in the field. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Plus, big thing, obviously, regarding it is we know that at some point this year, speculation city, because we have no idea when it's going to happen this year, but we do know that at some point this year we are getting a ship raid. So the more capital ships we have, the better.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously, the exponential increase in in capital ships. I mean, we were at 4 for so long, and now all of a sudden we're going to be at 8.
Yeah.
So
I don't have my
we're going to
phone
need
with me, so I can't go look at the
7
look
ships
at the roster right now. But I think we're still missing 2
for a full raid. Because obviously raids are before you when you hit the heroic. Sorry, before you hit the heroic, you get 5 turns.
Yeah.
So you're only going to get to use 5 of those capital ships, but you still need 35 ships to go with those capital ships because you all want 7. You would hope that you'd be able to call in your reinforcements. I mean, there's no way of knowing how they're going to do the ship raid.
If it's 7-star, that means you would have 7 slots total. So yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
So that and that then means you need another 21. On top of that, on top of that 35. So that's a lot of ships. So I mean, they are going to be obviously they're bringing out the galactic. We've got the Galactic Legends. And then we've got the new Poe and we've got the new Finn. So quite obviously we're going to get another Millennium Falcon, which kind of makes sense.
Obviously.
Well, yeah, of course.
You're saying obviously.
So
Obviously.
if you say
at the start of episode 9, it's them flying the Millennium. It's them in the Millennium Falcon.
No, that's a valid point. And
unless they throw another Chewie out.
And well, that's the thing. They would have to throw another Chewie out, and that would be in keeping with the kits that we see from Resistance Hero Poe and Finn. You have kits that boost a tank, and we don't have a Resistance tank, but Chewie would be. I mean, Chewie would be the tank that's.
Plus, Han's got this 5 hands.
Chewie. Resistance Hero Chewie, we would finally have 5 Wookiees.
Yes. We'd have 5 Chewies and 5 hands.
Would we get the Wookiee tag?
No.
Would we get the Wookiee tag?
No.
Still no Wookiee tag.
That will be a middle finger and a black stain on CG's. They'll go down with a ship on that one.
if we get Resistance hero Chewie, which by the way we'll call Boss Chewie, just to continue the running gag here, Neil. We'll call him Boss Chewie. Will he get his medal? Will he have the medal?
He should. He should have the medal. So it's in. No, that's what it is. It's in Resistance Reborn, and that is the book that I've been touting and saying, everyone go to my Audible account and get the free Audible, which I think is in the link somewhere.
It's the commercial that ran. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on Going Nerdy offer, and Audible away.
In that episode, or in that book, you have Chewbacca receiving his medal finally. I want to say it's that one. I really do. It might be something else, but
he also just gets it. He also gets it in the movie in 9 at the very end.
Then that's what it is. I'm dead wrong about Resistance.
He gets it in 9.
It's a good book, but then I'm lying about.
Still go check out the Audible.
Yeah.
Still go check out the Audible offer.
So
which by the way, full disclosure, Going Nerdy is compensated for use of
I am. Also, I feel good about because I get people listening to books, and that just makes me happy. And Star Wars makes me happy. So it's like win-win-win for everyone. But I think we'll get a Boss Chewie. I think it has to happen because we need a tank, and I honestly don't see General Leia being a tank. I don't. And there's not a tank in the films that would fit that description. It has to be Chewie. You don't really have anyone else from 7, 8, or 9 who is tank-like that could fill that role. So, Neil, I think you're right when it comes to the Millennium Falcon. I think we could see finally a Chewbacca and Rey, name redacted, Galactic Legends pilot. I think that's what we'll see. My real question though, are we going to get Claude, the alien?
Oh God!
As a character?
You mean Whack?
The only reason they created him, and I fully believe this, is because they didn't like Rose Tico, and they were like, if we put Rose Tico on this mission, people are going to get pissed. So let's create a random alien that's like Jar Jar Binks, but not give him Jar Jar Binks level screen time. That's my whole thinking behind that.
They
let's make him look like Whack from the Explorers.
Yeah.
They almost did, and its name was Babu Frick.
Oh! Don't you dare say Babu Frick ruined that movie, because Babu Frick may have saved that movie. Anything small and cute like that, like Ewoks or Porgs, they're adorable. They deserve respect.
Ewoks are not cute.
Well,
Wicket was cute.
Wicket was adorable.
The others were just kind of fugly. But
yeah.
Wicket was cute.
Wicket was cute until he started bashing in stormtrooper helmets to eat. And so
I mean, he wasn't cute. He wasn't cute at the end of 9, but then, I didn't know that was Wicket until someone said that's Wicket. It's like, well, how the hell am I supposed to bloody know that?
You didn't recognize the Wicket from being just Wicket?
No.
This was the cutest. I don't know. Let's see if I turn that off for a second. That was the cutest character in all of Star Wars. Dr. Cornelius Evazan.
They could, you were talking about that. Instead of bringing in another Chewie, they could make veteran. They could make veteran Lando the tank.
They could, but I'm still waiting for Pondo Baba and Cornelius Evazan in the game.
Hey, if they introduce a neutral tag eventually, and I'm sure they will, they're probably on that list. So So here's the thing though. When it comes to ships, and I don't want to get us off track here, but when it comes to ships, this is the only reason why I think that we're going to see Star Wars Resistance, the TV show, enter the game.
It's because you need more Resistance ships.
Yeah. And that show is all about the pilots. I mean, there's a connection between Poe and BB-8, kind of. I mean, not kind of. There is, but it's all about the pilots. And whether they introduce the pilots and the ships, it sounds like they're moving away from that. But that could have just been for the Separatist movement, because for Separatists, it didn't make sense for them to have piloted ships, because they didn't, for the most part. But for Resistance, it would feel odd for them not to give us those characters. But at the same time, they would kind of suck, like as characters. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how they do it. But I do think that is the way that we are getting the Resistance TV show into this game, is through that.
If we get any more Resistance characters, I'm trying to remember what he flew. I think he flew an X-Wing. You know, we would need to get Snap Wexley.
Yes,
definitely. And also, fun fact about this character that I'm putting up in back.
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
I do. I don't remember his name though.
His name is Ello Asti.
Is he the one?
He's the one based on the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Okay.
He is the one based on the Beastie Boys. Now, for the people that are listening to this on the podcast, he's kind of squid looking. He almost looks like a Moncall, but he's got more pronounced human features on the
He's got Squidward's head. He's got Squidward's head from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think other than the Resistance characters, and this is a stretch because I don't see them adding. They haven't been added to any games. They haven't been added to anything but books. But Alphabet Squadron, another great book. But it's all about pilots. It's all about the pilots. It's all about connecting people with the Resistance and building the pilots union, kind of a thing. And so I think that could be the case, but again, since they're not as known, it doesn't feel right for the Alphabet Squad. But it would be cool because then you get a series. You get A-Wings, B-Wings, X-Wings, like a bunch of different wings, and it would work out. I think it'd be really cool. So
and then you also get a bunch of the First Order that were in Alphabet Squadron as well.
Yeah.
But that's new canon. We don't want to upset Nev.
Yes.
Keep Nev happy.
So, keep Nev happy. So, but yeah, that's where I think they're going with it. I think they've got to bring in more ships for Resistance and for First Order. And I think it could simply be that they add ships without the characters. And I could see that. But I'd be curious to know how they would which ships they would bring in.
I want to see the A-Wings. I definitely want to see the A-Wings.
We need an A-Wing, we need an A-Wing, and we need a B-Wing.
Mm-hmm.
We need a B-Wing.
We need an A-Wing and a B-Wing.
We need another Separatist ship. We need another Separatist ship, and we saw it in the Light Side Geoterritory battle. The little domed ship.
Yeah.
So we need one more for Malevolence to have all Separatist ships. Because the sixth lot right now, before I go play with the 7 stars, is filled by IG 2000.
Easy option for Separatists would be to just give Dooku a ship. Just give Dooku a ship.
Yeah.
What, his little sail thing? Come on.
Oh, but he's got other ships.
The Geos are flying the exact same bloody ship he's flying.
Yeah. The sail barge would be really cool. I think it would be difficult though to animate, but I'm not an animator, so I have no idea. Everything's difficult to animate to me.
You should ask more art questions in the Q&A then.
Yeah.
What we know is happening for sure is we're getting a boatload more ships in preparation for
Raid.
Ship raid.
Yeah.
All right. So we are running a little long. So let's get to...
Go figure.
Because we still got to do Talking Picard here coming up in the fourth segment. But the progress of how do you unlock these Galactic Legend Rey and Galactic Legend Kylo? Will they stay up, Nerdy? Will they be constant events or will they be timed?
Timed. These ones will be timed. But they did say that it would be new. And like it's the way that we get these characters, the event style, everything's the way that I read that, at least everything's supposed to be unique. Or at least again, that's my interpretation of it. Whether it actually is or not is, how can they be entirely unique with everything that they've done? And I'm just probably not thinking outside of the box enough. But I do think they'll be timed very similar to Malik and those
epic confrontations.
Thank you, epic confrontations. I still don't have freaking gas, which is infuriating. But I think they'll be timed, and I think that we are going to use a wider array of stuff. I think that it'll be more than just First Order. I think it'll be more than just Resistance. I think there's going to be some crossover. I think there'll be one-on-ones like we've seen before. I think that it's going to be timed though. I think that it has to be timed. Otherwise, we'll get them too quickly, and they lose a revenue stream. If people can make content about this stuff that quickly, then it's, I don't know.
Somebody brought this up in the listener lounge earlier, just yesterday when we were talking about it, and it was they said it will be a immediate boost if they were to keep them up. If they were to keep them up, and here's the argument that I thought was a great idea. If they keep them up in all the time, you will get the $200 spenders. You'll get $200. People get it right then and there because they were smart and they did all the right things and they read the damn tea leaves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get the layaway planners, where it's $50 a month towards this, it's $50 a month towards that, it's $50 a month towards that, and eventually they spend maybe $250 because they get distracted by the new shiny ship that they release alongside of it.
Yeah.
So,
shiny.
The layaway plan, I know. I mean, it's just like my characters in Runes of Magic. If you do the layaway plan and keep it active, and they're like, okay, I'll work towards this character. I'll have them in 4 months. I think that is a brilliant idea. I think that would work to keep it active. Does that thought change your mind at all?
I'd like to see it that way. I think that because I'm a layaway planner. I am. I shouldn't be. I'm trying to go free to play, but I'm addicted. Just tap my credit card, insert the chip here. But like I get that. Like I think that it would be valuable. And I think that it would also go a long way for CG with the community. You have these major events with characters that we've not seen before. Like these are supposed to be the way that I'm reading this is like above a Malik. This is above a Gas. These are amazing characters. That's the way they're kind of, going out with this, promoting it. And so it would make absolute sense for them to do something like that not only is good for the community, but excites the community and adds a little goodwill. I think it'd be smart. I really do. I still feel like it's going to be timed though. Maybe Yeah, we'll see.
That's why this is Speculation Station. Nev, what about you? What are you thinking about this whole, fast spend versus layaway plan versus release cadence?
They're going to make it ridiculously grindy for free to play.
Yeah.
Which just, in fact, no. They won't make it grindy for free to play. There's no need to make any future events grindy for free to play because free to play is dead. So
we're still talking it. We're still debating that.
So no, I'm going to use a big word here. Objectively, it's dead. The retention of free to play starting from scratch will be down to less than 1% compared to prior to the Hyperdrive bundle. So if free to play aren't being retained, they will make future events purely along the lines of how can we make the most amount of money in the most reasonable amount of time from an EA point of view. A bit like we saw nothing. It's like we never see anything from Mark Dixon, and then
Dickinson.
Oh, sorry, Mark. We don't see anything. We don't see or hear anything from Mark Dickinson, and then we get some posts. We get nothing from him directly, and then we get all of the stuff that's on the forum at the moment. I just don't see the Galactic Legends being any cheaper than gas. If a Galactic Legend is going to be more OP than gas, then logic would dictate and that it's going to be more money and harder to get those characters in order to get the characters. So 15 characters, Gear 13, Relic 5 to 7. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
right.
But I got to say, hold on. Nev, you know why we haven't heard from Mark Dickinson? He got trapped in an elevator.
Oh, okay.
Like
didn't you watch Going Nerdy's wrong answers only video of where CG has been?
Yeah, CG Carey somehow broke into the building and I almost said massaged, sabotaged I guess she could have massaged the elevator wires, but she sabotaged the elevator and he's been stuck there for
the only working laptop.
I've been catching up on. I've been catching up on the all the content creators that are starting new accounts.
Ah, gotcha.
You mean like Biswees?
Like Biswees and Cubs and Arnold and you.
Yes.
And they're hyperdriving them, from what I understand too, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't hyperdrived any.
They're all hyperdriving it.
I refuse. But I am learning more about the game by going back and playing stuff.
Well, I just want to be placed in a GAC group with one of these three guys, and I want to chance them.
So you heard it here. Well, remind me, what's the name of the hyperdrive bundle?
The hyperdrive bundle.
No. He named it something. The Horde account. What is it?
The Nev. My Horde account is just called the Nev.
Okay, so the Nev versus Babu Frick. The Nev versus Gary the Stormtrooper.
I want to see it.
So do I. I want to see it because I've been grinding for 110 to 115 days on that, and they've been playing it less than a week. And they may have 65 characters at level 80, gear 8, but I have characters that they don't have.
Yep.
All right. With that being said, I think that's a good way to end the speculation station.
Yeah.
So coming up after this, we are going to be going to the bridge, and on the bridge, we will be doing Talking Picard. The first episode will be here, and then we'll give you the first taste for free, and then the rest of them you'll have to tune in on Sunday nights for Talking Picard's weekly series, right here on the Escape Podcast channel. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Yeah!
For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Codename Llama to Agent N00B. This is Codename Llama to Agent N00B. Do you copy? TEPCON Command has new orders for you. Do you copy?
Agent N00B copies. Proceed with updated orders, Master Llama.
The investigation into the murder of Scotty McLaren has ended. Your mission to tail suspect Hellenix is no longer necessary. You are hereby released from the services of TEPCON Command.
Master, these orders do not compute. Hellenix has not yet been exonerated. My datasets are incomplete. Further investigation is required.
Agent N00B, I don't have time to discuss this with some noob droid committee. These are your new orders. You are being discharged. You are no longer an agent of TEPCON Command. Hellenix is your new master now, and you will serve him well. Codename Llama, out.
Master. Peculiar. Signal lost. Data set. Incomplete. Orders do not compute. Recalculate. Violation of Prime Directive. Recalculating. Error. Recalculating. Must complete Prime Directive. Recalculating. Unicode number 2260. Recalculating. Logic error. Recalculating. Must solve logic error discovered in updated orders.
Hey there, N00B. Did I just hear you practicing on how you are to address me? Huh? Were you just practicing how to say the word master? I could have sworn I heard you practicing, huh? Who's a good little droid? Wait, N00B, are you even listening to me? Hey. Hey, yo. Droid. You feeling alright there, N00B?
Greetings, Hellenix. I am a droid. I am incapable of having feelings. My processors perform
calculations,
which may have the appearance of feelings to sentient beings such as yourself. Droids are more advanced than sentients, and therefore do not require feelings in order to properly function.
Okay, then. Why don't you run a self-diagnostic on that old bundle of wires you call a central processor, just so we're sure you aren't experiencing any more serious issues.
Understood, and will comply. Hellenics.
Just when you thought he was gonna say master.
What are you planning on doing today, if I may ask? Hellenics.
Same thing I do every Friday night, newbie. Get myself caught up on Discord, play me some Swuggo, work on some content for my YouTube channel.
Hashtag shameless self-promotion.
And of course, tune into
The Escape Pod Cast
with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Eyre. Take it away, boys. I got a recliner with my name on it and a podcast to continue listening to. NOOB? Carry on, I guess.
Suspect, Hellenics. Suspected of the murder of Scotty McLaren. Guilty until proven innocent. Discharge orders invalid. Prime directive being rewritten. Hellenics must be proven innocent or recalculating. Hellenics must be destroyed.
The Escape Pod Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to this fourth segment, The Bridge. But this week, we're going to give you a little taste of what's to come on Sunday nights, right here on the Escape Podcast YouTube channel. And we're not going to be doing it on the podcast, but if you're a podcast listener, maybe we can coax you over to the YouTube channel. That'd be nice to have you.
That would be
Subscribe,
nice. Yes.
like, exactly. It's not for just Patreons. It's not just for Discord users. This is, public YouTube channel that we're going to be talking about Star Trek Picard. And we did talk about going Mando. We did Talking Mando on Going Nerdy's channel.
Although I think we'd all love to go Mando. I mean,
I would, yeah. So we loved doing Talking Mando. So we're doing Talking Picard. We have Talking Clone Wars coming up, and did you guys decide to do Waxing Witcher?
No,
I'm happy to do talking, but it's when you want. It's whenever you want to do it, mate.
So there's so much going on that I'd love to, but I don't have time. Unfortunately, I just don't.
We're already doing
We'll settle for talking. We'll settle with Talking Picard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Witcher was awesome. Short answer. Everyone go get Netflix.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more the second time around than
I haven't
the first
seen
time.
it twice, but
It's better. It's better the second. It is better the second time around.
Okay, I'll have to give it a shot again. But I loved every episode. There wasn't a moment that I didn't love. Yeah, great. But that's not what this is.
No, this is Talking Picard.
This is Talking Picard, ladies and gentlemen. CBS All Access in the U.S., but our Japan listeners and some of our foreign listeners do get to stream it on Netflix. They don't have to pay the $7
Amazon
What?
Prime as well. Amazon Prime.
In the UK, it's Amazon
Prime
right?
in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do have ways of watching this. No matter where you're at, if you're in the US, you're stuck buying CBS All Access. But I already do that because I think locally here in Houston, CBS is kind of the best of the stations. So, that's just me. I digress. Now,
let's get into it.
So we open the scene with Picard playing poker with Data.
Yeah.
And it was on the bridge of the Enterprise D.
In
the bar of Enterprise D.
Was it the D? Okay.
Yeah, it was D, wasn't he?
It was the Enterprise.
It was Enterprise D.
So he's on he's at the bar and they're overlooking Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard doesn't want the game to end, so he's just stalling with Data and all that. But we find out that it's a flashback dream to kind of set the narrative of where Picard is today. We see Mars get entirely obliterated, which was where they evacuated. From what I understand, they evacuated the Romulans.
No,
right before
the armada that was being created to assist the Romulans was being built on Mars. And it was destroyed.
Yeah.
So and it was destroyed, which we find out through this real kind of gotcha interview. I was feeling uncomfortable with that interview.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As a viewer, I'm not saying that I was feeling uncomfortable with it. I just really hate, they did a good job in making you hate the interviewer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so pissed that, like, as I'm watching this, and I was just like, this is the evolution of the news. This is where it's all going anyways. And I mean, we're kind of there, but that's.
But the thing is, they set it up.
Yeah,
it was set up. Oh, she's not going to ask you about this, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why did you just say that? Because obviously now the next scene is going to be her asking the question that they pre-agreed wasn't going to be asked. So that annoyed me.
But Neil, that was a MacGuffin. That, in filmmaking, that was a MacGuffin. They had to explain that. They had to explain that it's a really sensitive topic for Picard by saying, "Oh, he's not going to ask you about this," and it's Romulans. He's on this farm with Romulans that he's become very, very good friends with.
Yeah.
In France, right?
Yeah. He's on the Picard homestead in France.
Yeah. He's on the Picard homestead in France. So he's got these supporters around him. He has, you can, and as an actor, Patrick Stewart has not lost a step, but he's playing Picard, Admiral Picard, to where it looks like he's lost a step, but he can kick it into gear when he needs. And I love that.
Yeah. So to Neil, I am not a Star Trek fanatic as much as I am Star Wars. I mean, I haven't seen any of the shows. I've seen some of the movies, and I'm familiar with a little bit. And so for me, that little bit of sensitivity, that little bit of the MacGuffin that you disliked as a what's the word? Like
uninitiated,
an initiated viewer. I felt like it was a great connection. Like, I know who Jean-Luc Picard is. Like, I know of him, but I don't know him. And so for me, it was a great connection, because then you see the fire, the passion that everyone's been talking about with all of the whole battle between Kirk and Picard. Who's better? To me, it made sense. It finally put some weight behind who is this admiral, this retired man, because then you saw the passion, you saw the fire. And
retired, we'll use retired very loosely here.
Yeah.
Retired 10 years.
Yeah, that's retired.
But given the answer of why he retired, he didn't leave Starfleet. Starfleet left him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it comes to find out, we come to find out, if you will, that he left Starfleet over, it kind of takes, if you've ever played Fallout 4, there is a group of people that enjoy augmented beings, and there's a group of people that are deathly afraid of augmented beings, ironically enough called synths. And that's what that's what they call them as well in Picard, synthetic human beings.
Yeah.
So with that being said, because what happened on Mars is all synthetic beings, for those who need help, people like Data, Lore, B4, all of them turned. Like they Order 66.
Yeah.
There was an Order 66 where all synthetic beings blew up Mars. Well, not blew up Mars, but decimated Mars to the point where the atmosphere is still burning on Mars.
Yeah,
and this is one of the things that this is where things started kind of getting a little bit confusing for me. I was a little bit perplexed. So all of the androids that obviously have been made launch an attack on the armada being made on Mars to go and help the Romulans.
Yeah.
Why?
That's
why
the whole story
why
that we're
not
gonna find
turn
out.
on their makers and just go and blow the crap out of Earth?
What?
Yeah.
It's a plot hole I don't understand, and it's a plot hole I'm not sure how they're going to explain. I mean, obviously we might get it later on in the series, but I'm trying to wrap. I'm hearing this, and I'm trying to wrap my head around. Okay, so this is a big plot point. Why? Why not just turn on your masters and launch an attack on Earth? Why launch an attack on a humanitarian mission on Mars to build ships to rescue people?
Yeah.
Now, what you're asking is absolutely 100% a valid question. I'm not going to say that isn't a question that I would like answered as well.
I will.
So, go ahead.
No, I'm joking. I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Okay, I thought you had an answer for it.
No, but the way that I understood it, it wasn't all replicants, or it wasn't all synths that turned, but it was enough of them that people became afraid of them, right? Because they weren't supposed to be able to do that, and all of a sudden they were, and this is a huge thing.
And then Starfleet banned research and everything into future making of them.
Yeah, and so again, I didn't view it as like all of the entire planet, just all the synths everywhere just turned. It was just a group of them that turned, kind of like a rebel cell. And if that's the case, then I can see if you have, I mean, and here in the United States, we see, anytime like a terrorist act takes place, and I'm not trying to make it political, but like we immediately blame one group of people, right? If something happens on our southern border, we immediately blame one group of people. It's that fear, right? It's the fear of, one person from this one group did it, so we're afraid of everyone. And the same thing happens, I think, here with the synth, that there's enough of them that did it that now everyone's afraid of them because they may not have that connection, right? And as the story continues, we will learn that Data was unique in his humanity almost. I mean, I might be wrong if I took that from it, but
no,
that's the way that I took it.
No, he was. He had a unique.
Dr. Singh.
Dr. Sun had I thought it was
Dr.
Sun.
Sun. Yeah.
Dr. Sun, made Data unique, and obviously when he tried to do it again, he didn't succeed.
Yeah.
He made Lore.
So, but yeah, no.
There
So
were a
that
few
whole
other
that whole
attempts.
thing kind of because it was, So I'm progressing in the episode with that nagging feeling in the back of my head, and I just couldn't, it was like a jarring. It was like the episode of the Mando with the Twi'lek that just kept jarring me out of the episode. So this plot point just, it messed up my flow of the episode. And then obviously
for you it's plot points. For me, it's terrible little CGI figures just going like this across my screen.
So we, and then we meet a bunch of other characters, and we go to Boston with I don't know why they don't just call it Boston. Why throw the extra word in? I didn't understand that either. I thought that was a bit strange.
What was it? Greater Boston?
It was something like that.
I actually wrote that down in my
I don't understand.
I did find my phone during the break.
So why Boston's changed. So there's that. So we get the interview with Picard. We get the talking points from the media person.
It was Greater Boston.
Yeah, Greater Boston.
It could have been out on the outskirts of Boston.
Yeah.
So the Greater Chicago area, the Greater Salt Lake area.
Yes. And so the story, so the story's so the episode's progressing, and we meet the female protagonist, and she's with her fella.
Yeah, she's having,
and they're having some wine, and they're talking to each other, and I think that's the first time I've ever heard the word dude used in a Star Trek episode, which I thought was a bit. I'm like, really? Okay. So, 20 years on, that's what the hip kids in the Star Trek universe are using now. They've gone back through. The 21st century's called, and they want their lingo back. So, but then all of a sudden, so they're having a nice time. So they're having a nice time.
It's the roaring 20s now, so you know.
Yeah, so they're having a nice time, and her boyfriend, doesn't know how to work the replicator and is trying to make something, and then all of a sudden, 3 people in motorcycle helmets.
Ninjas. They were
3 ninjas in motorcycle helmets.
Hold on, I'll do it better. Space ninjas.
Space ninjas in motorcycle helmets burst in and kill her beau, which kind of upsets her. And obviously, most people don't pick it up right at the start, but they were talking in an alien tongue. And what was that alien tongue that they were talking, Paul?
Believe that it was Romulan.
That's exactly what it was. And then he's reprimanded. Speak English. I don't know if you noticed, but but bad guys always have British accents. So the bad guys, it was a British accent.
So he said speak English, isn't? I thought that this is something that made me go, isn't it just now called basic?
No, you're getting Star Trek and Star Wars mixed up.
Okay,
because English isn't basic isn't the only language on Earth.
Picard was talking in French to his dog,
which is why we had subtitles, because he didn't have his thing on. He didn't have his communicator on, which is also a universal translator.
Yes. So anyway, before that happens, they're trying to kidnap the girl.
Hold on. Picard is French?
Jean-Luc? Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sorry. I just had to bring some.
I know you. Had to. But they put a bag over her head, which is supposedly supposed to also knock her out. Maybe it.
I was waiting for the club.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently she activates because, they claimed she was activating, and she just goes total badass on all of them and kills the 3 space ninjas with motorcycle helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on. She kills the 3 space ninjas wearing motorcycle helmets. She doesn't kill them with the motorcycle helmets. That would have been so much cooler.
That is true.
Let's face it. Because then she would have ripped the head off and beat to death. That just would have been cooler. I gotta point that out.
So she kicks the bad guy's ass and then takes the hood off, and she's like, oh my god, my boyfriend's dead.
Yeah, but
and she doesn't immediately call the authorities.
She starts getting all these little flashbacks, and my wife, while we're watching it just earlier yesterday on Thursday, she looks over and she goes, Professor X is reaching out to a new mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah, we get a flash of Picard, which she doesn't quite understand, but then, you know, we obviously she figures out something, you know. So she rocks up in France,
Mm-hmm.
And asks Picard if if he knows who she is, and there's this lovely bit of dialogue between Picard and this girl that he's never met before, and it's like no. But it's like, calm down, dear. Calm, you know, because us Brits are great at telling people to cut. It's like, calm down, you know, calm down and drink tea, or you know, calm down and keep quiet.
By
he
the way,
was drinking wine at the time, so he may have just been drunk and
Yeah.
hallucinating.
It's like, calm down and
was
pound
drinking
grape.
wine.
Yeah.
But earlier, earlier he did order an Earl Grey, but he also ordered it decaf.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that in the first.
Well, yeah,
part of
tea
the-
has caffeine in it, small amount,
Right.
but it still has it in it.
But he ordered the Earl Grey instead of Earl Grey hot, Earl Grey decaf.
Mm-hmm. So, and then, you know, things kind of progress from there. She tells him about who she is and what's happened, and he comes up with that wonderful, wonderful line, "I believe you believe." Not "I believe you." You know, so it was a very anti, you know, a very, very anti Me Too moment there, because he should have just believed her.
Of course.
You know, because all women tell the truth all the time. So, but
No
I believe
making
you
this
believe.
political, Neil.
So it's I believe you believe, so which you know is conveyed with sincerity, because it's Picard. You know, that's one of his positive
Qualities.
traits. One of his
Yeah.
qualities.
Yes.
One of his traits is his you know, his a wonderful ability to convey sincerity.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so, you know, they all go to bed and they have a chat, and they talk about the two circles that she's got on her chain, and
Her necklace, yep.
her necklace, and then they all go to bed. And then obviously they get up in the morning and she's gone, which was another thing that I thought was weird. But it did get, you know, she thinks that she's being followed and she doesn't want to put anybody else in danger. So she phones home, she calls her mum, and her mum's like, go find Picard, and she's like, I didn't tell you anything about that. But the mother insists, you know, go and find him. So, you know, she brings up like a heads-up display and starts pushing lots of buttons, and that was all very, very weird. And she locates him, and she goes to find him, and he's at Starfleet. He's at the Starfleet archives.
Yeah.
Because he's gone to his personal vault in the archives, because, you know, he's got that niggling thing. It's like, where do I know you from? You know, so he goes to his archives to see if he can figure it out. And it turns out that her face is in a painting that Data painted for him during during their time together on the Enterprise, like 30 odd years ago, because he has another one of his dreams with Data in, where Data is painting in the vineyard, and he's painting some, you know, image similar to that which he has hanging in his study, and that's where he thinks, oh, hang on a minute, I'll that's why he goes to the archive to check and see about the painting. So he goes to his archive and he sees the painting in his personal vault, and it's like, oh my god, this chick that was knocking on my door is in a painting from Data, and the title of the painting is Daughter. And that's when, you know, that the light bulb appears above his head, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, this girl is his daughter.
But how can Data have a daughter?
How can Data have a daughter? So, next part of the story, Picard goes to the location of an institute that she was actually going to go and work at anyway.
Well, it's supposedly the best. You know, if you think you know information technology, you think MIT. So apparently, if you think synthetic life creation, you think I forget the name of it now.
It's the MIT of this universe.
Yeah,
the MIT of synths.
And the reason why Picard goes to this institute, to this location, is because as he's coming out of the archives, she turns up that she's found him. And again, they sit down and they have a conversation about, I think that you're, somehow linked. I think that, you're linked to Data and that you're unique and that I'll never leave you and I'll always be there. And then more space ninjas in motorcycle helmets turn up and try to kill her again. Only this time the fight lasts a little bit longer. There's more lasers. There's more pew 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 pew.
There's more ninjas.
There's more ninjas. And they're being sneaky ninjas because they're using teleporters to, teleport themselves into convenient locations to attack her. And she turns on the badassery because she's activated now. And it was,
she's triggered.
She's triggered. She was triggered. And during the fight, again, something else happened that kind of wigged me out of the episode again. And it's another one of my critical points is she sees them behind Picard and she's like, all right, I've kicked these guys' ass. I best go kick those guys' ass on the step. And she runs and makes this huge, massive leap. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a positronic brain inside a human body. Now, Data was able to, do superhuman feats because of his synthetic body. So he was able to leap, jump, huge strength, lift up massive rocks. Obviously, they weren't rocks. It was a styrofoam ball painted as a rock. But she is in a human body. So the things that she did...
Guess what? Midichlorians can't allow you to lift things, okay?
Yeah. But she takes this huge, massive leap, and I'm thinking to myself, I thought, no, it was completely unfeasible because she's flesh and bone. And regular flesh and bone people can't leap.
Supposedly, because
it's a it's a positronic brain that's been activated. So the synthetic part of her is only her mind and her brain. It's not her body. So she has the body and the anatomy living. So it's bone, flesh, organs.
But we don't know that yet.
Yeah. We don't know that.
That's what we're assuming.
Well, that's what we've gleaned from the conversations going between her and Picard.
Yeah.
And then obviously Picard wants confirmation, which is why he then goes to the Institute. Because obviously the culmination of said said fight with the girl is one of the bad guys, one of the space ninjas takes off his helmet and spits something at her while she's holding a gun, and it starts to like melt her and burn her, and then ba-boom.
Yeah.
And
maybe she just didn't want to be spit on, and she was so filled with rage that it just she blew up.
Yeah. No, but she wasn't expressing pain, or she wasn't like which is another thing that kind of wigged me out. It's like, why wasn't she feeling pain unless her positronic brain can turn off, nerve centers, which is why she wasn't, expressing pain.
So I suppose to be honest with you, probably. But we do get in this MIT of synthetics, we do get a question about, did you get the name Mark Bronson or something like that?
Yeah, it was something.
He was the guy responsible for creating all of the androids that went Terminator.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with that being said, we'll get the name and we'll have it for the actual show. We've slept since then. But this person has, we find out that he's able to create synthetic life with the appearance and reaction. I think that was the quote: appearance and reaction of a human. So I think that answers your question of why she was able to, roll a 20 on her jump save.
Yeah. 21 actually.
Yeah.
There was some critical throws in there. Heroic feats.
Exactly.
Because the fighting's believable because obviously it's knowledge. That so the regular fighting that was fine. That was all consistent with what a human body could do. It was just the speed run and the massive leap that kind of made me think, oh, come on, guys, you're going a little bit too far there. Just have a run to the steps and kick those guys' butts.
Yeah. We talked about this last week. There has to be a suspension of disbelief with a lot of the things that we have today, because otherwise it gets so overanalyzed.
Yes, and I do, and I understand that, but this is based on TNG, and TNG was based on it was based on pseudoscience, and there was a lot of suspension of disbelief. But
maybe we'll find out. Maybe she is 100% android, and with just this little skin and goo layer that makes it look like they bleed,
like a T-800.
Yeah. So I gotta say, like, Nev, I completely agree with you. I actually rewound this part, and I was like, did she just did I miss something? Was there a scene that was cut? Because it was like all of a sudden she just moved completely. It felt very.
It didn't feel organic within the fight.
It did pull me out of the moment. It's not as she super fast. It was just constant movement. I don't know. It just felt weird. I didn't like the shot, and so I'm right there with you. But like with Paul, I also think that there is. I think there's more to it than what we're getting so far. I definitely think that she is probably going to end up being a full synthetic that just looks really real. But I don't know. I mean, and again, this is me coming at this with zero knowledge or 10% knowledge of Star Trek. And so, to me as an outsider, that moment did pull me out, and I didn't necessarily care for it.
Well, we will be able to find out, though, because what happened at the end of the conversation between Picard and the Doctor at the Institute, Paul?
We find out that they're made in twins.
Mm-hmm.
So this the character that we're just introduced to as Data's daughter,
who didn't know she had a twin sister.
Didn't know
has a twin sister that does know she has a twin sister. Which is another one.
Who is in the place where all the Romulans who were saved were taken to, the Romulan refugee camp, if you will.
Yeah.
And we'll get to exactly that in just a moment. But I mean, on the next episode of Picard, or actually I think it was on this season of Picard.
Yeah.
We kind of confirmed that this person who we saw after the reveal of she has a twin, I mean, I was like, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. And
the Romulan that starts the weird conversation. That was a weird.
Yeah,
I did not understand that conversation at all.
It's hipster dating.
Is that what hipster dating is?
That's what hipster dating is like.
Is that what the kids are doing in this century? Is it right? Okay.
Yeah.
They're dating their psychologist and be like, hey, analyze me. Analyze me.
Yeah. And you can always tell the difference between a Romulan and a Vulcan because the Romulans have feelings.
So
yeah, I was initially going, are those Vulcans or are those Romulans?
As soon as he started expressing feeling, I'm like, Romulan.
Exactly. And so we see the twin. We see the twin now in danger of this patient / romantic interest of the twin. And then they pan away. And the refugee camp of the Romulans that were saved before the Romulan star went supernova, it's a Borg cube. Am I wrong?
No, it's a Borg cube.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I was my jaw dropped and I'm like, this is not gonna go the way you think.
Because there ain't enough planets in the Alpha Quadrant. There just isn't enough planets in the Alpha Quadrant at all.
So they're bringing in stuff to familiarize yourself with placement.
Yeah.
So Nev, come on. How many? Weren't you one of the people that were complaining, going, "Where the hell is Octu?" We didn't even know the name of Octu until the visual dictionary came out. Where was Luke Skywalker? Yeah, you were complaining you didn't know the name of the planet. So if they did, would you be saying, "Oh, well, they could have done it on a Borg cube"?
I don't think that's. I mean, it didn't strike me as that as being the. I just don't think. I mean, or obviously they were trying to save 900 million Romulans, right? That were on the planet.
Those Borg cubes are pretty spacious.
But here's the thing, and this is the thing you got to remember. It's called the Romulan Empire for a reason, because they're an empire. So they have probably got planets and systems with Romulans on planets that they've been, occupying for centuries, centuries and centuries. So there are multiple locations that they could have that they could have warped to in order to evacuate the home world of Romulus, which was obviously going to be destroyed by the supernova of the sun, and only enough of them survive. I mean, there's going to be
20 years. We've got 20 years that could have all changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have to wait, and that's the crappy thing for fans who are experienced in this. They want something coming into it fresh. I thought it was awesome. There were some definite moments that pulled me out, and I agree with you, Nev. There were some things that bugged me. The twin thing, though, I don't know if the twin thing is necessarily something that is a plot hole. I just don't think it came up. I don't think she had a moment to be like, well, I'm an only child. We don't know that she doesn't know that she has a twin. And the mom didn't say, hey, go stay with your sister somewhere. It didn't. On
the Borg cube.
Go stay on the Borg cube. There's room, right? It's not that came up. We just, unfortunately,
it's this is one of the things that ultimately frustrated me about the episode, is that this is the first. I mean, so we're going to get a series. It is, for all intents purposes, one long narrative that is going to be broken down into episodes, and that ain't Star Trek. That is not in the vein of TNG. TNG, even Enterprise, even Voyager, even Star Trek, it was lots of one-off stories, wonderful one-off stories with some. I mean, TNG was great with the whole social justice thing. Let's talk about. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. With a kind of abstract, every once in a while, overarching story. I mean, you could drop into any season of TNG, The Next Generation, and be given a wonderful story with, some kind of moral. I mean, every now and then there'd be a couple of two-parters. Same with Voyager, same with Enterprise. But for all intents and purposes, you had lots of stories.
I interject there. Voyager, you had the ability to jump into the first few seasons of Voyager, but there became 6 to 7 episode story arcs in Voyager. And Enterprise, I mean, Enterprise literally had a story arc from beginning to end. Yes, you could jump into it, and
that's what I mean. The season-long narrative.
Carry it on.
The season-long narrative was kind of in the background. in Picard, it's front and center. So if you hadn't watched 1, you couldn't watch 2 and understand
and you could
what
say
happened.
the same thing about Mando. And we
Oh
gave
yeah, no,
that a
and
five,
no, that's,
we gave that a 5.7.
Yes,
average, right?
But there, yes,
Something like that.
and that is, but we're talking about two completely different universes here. The TNG, the Star Trek Next Generation. I mean, yeah, sure, they made movies, but the movies were never as good as the TV show. Because the movies followed a different format from the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, the Mando is brand spanking new. We haven't had a live action Star Wars universe TV show before. We've had animated, but we've never had TV. Okay, that cannot be said for Star Trek. We've had the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, and Voyager. Okay,
don't make me go in the other room and pull out Star Trek the Animated Series. I have the set. We have an animated series.
Yes, there was an animated series. Yes,
but it didn't come first. Like what Neil is saying here, it didn't come first, and so they have
they have a formula. Star Trek has a formula which made the TV show so successful, and you've got your Trekkers and you've got your Trekkies. Okay, and I just think that, I mean, all right, I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a good Talking Picard had its premiere in London. I think it was at Piccadilly recently. You know, very niche.
Star
Couple of
Trek
150.
Picard, not Talking Picard. Picard is premiering right now.
Star Trek Picard, and there was a premiere with 250, and a bunch of Trekkies turned up in cosplay. You know, because they were going to get to meet, you know, they were going to get to see some of the cast. They were going to get to meet Stewart. Not one single person that turned up in cosplay from the last Star Trek season of that was made, which is Discovery. And that tells me everything, is that there are still people that are, it's, you know, everybody was dressed in, you know, blue or gold or red. You know, that they were in the classic uniforms of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Because
how many were dressed as Enterprise? How many were dressed as Bajorans? How many were dressed as whatever the hell Tuvok was? Not Tuvok, Chakotay. I know what Tuvok was.
What do you mean Tuvok? Tuvok's a Vulcan.
The Tuvok's a Vulcan, but I meant Commander Chakotay.
Although I don't know what is the actor that plays Tuvok in. He's a completely different race in the Orville.
yeah.
So I have, you know, now here's the thing. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying, when I saw the opening credits roll and they said based on Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek: The Next Generation, I was expecting something The Next Generation-esque in that style, and this is not in that style. So I was instantly given expectations for the episode, and those expectations were not met, and that's fair enough, I think. You can't say that Picard is TNG-esque. It's not.
And it was based on Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. I don't think did it really say Next Generation?
Yeah, it did. It said it's in the opening credits based on Star Trek.
Was Picard. Nonetheless, Gene Roddenberry, anything that runs Star Trek has that tagline of based on Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. We see it in Discovery. We see it in Enterprise. We saw it on DS9 and Voyager. We saw that same tagline in each and every single one.
But this one was very specific. This one was
specific because it was talking about it, because it's based on the Next Generation, because it's Picard.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Picard's in Picard.
Oh, and unspoiler alert. No Troy. No number 1. No 7 of 9.
You get number 1.
You get number one.
You get dog number 1.
Dog. But we don't know.
No
that
Riker,
somehow kind
no
of
Riker, no Troy, no 7 of 9, and those are the things that they have been hammering at us in trailers.
In the pilot, we saw the pilot for the episode. They didn't go out and get Frakes, and they didn't go out and get all of them for this just yet because they didn't know if this thing was going to get produced. It didn't get greenlit for a little bit after.
So what you're saying is he didn't get his crew?
He didn't get his crew. Yeah.
And that's another thing that made TNG good. I mean, I just hope that, when we do finally get into space, because
which
we're
going
it's
to next
Star
episode,
Trek, let's hope we get into space.
Potentially.
That the ensemble that they put together is as good as the ensemble they had on TNG, because at the end of the day, Picard did not do everything, on his own. Sometimes the hero of the episode was Geordi, or it was Riker, or it was Troy, or it was Beverly, or it was Wheaton, or
you mean the guy from Big Bang Theory?
Yes. Who is stealing our thunder and doing a show? It's very similar to us.
Is it called?
We should invite him on.
We should invite him on. I'll send him a tweet and see if he wants to come on our show.
Yeah,
I would love to have Wheaton on for Talking Picard. That would be awesome. If not, just get him to voice the little escape pod intro that we have.
Well, I'll see if he's still on Twitter, and I'll send him a tweet.
All right, and we'll probably have to pay SAG fees for that as well. Yeah. Reason why we don't have, and the only reason, mind you, that we don't have Mark Hamill voicing one of our intros is because of the SAG fees. CG offered to pay the SAG fees for him to do it, but it was too much.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
stupid.
We are running long, guys. We've covered the episode really quick. How many warp cores out of 5 for you? Let's start with the naysayer right down there. Let's start with the naysayer. Nev, how many warp cores for the first episode? And we're
I'll give it 3 out of 5. I'll give it 3 out of 5.
The same you gave episode 9. I was just pointing that out.
It was above average. I mean, it was good popcorn TV. I'm not going to say that it was an unmitigating disaster, because I know that there are some people out there that will say, those plot holes and those, those critiques that I made, make it unwatchable. I mean, it's not unwatchable. It's just, as Nerdy put it and as I put it, it's just very jarring in places, which upsets the flow. So 3 out of 5.
All right, Thaddeus.
So I'm gonna give it more. I'm more positive than Neil is in most things, at least from my experience. Except Neil has a much better time and much better luck at shopping at secondhand stores. I can't find anything good, and it's infuriating. But I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because there were moments that were jarring for me. They weren't very. There weren't as many that Neil had for sure. But I liked it. I was expecting it to be a little bit longer, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was beautifully done.
It's set for an exact. If it were to run on actual TV, it is the same length as any other show. It's not like the Mando where it has fluctuating times. Oh boy, this episode is 10 minutes. Oh boy, this episode is 2 hours.
Yes. No, but I did like it, and I will say that I'm excited for the next episode. I'm curious to know what happens. There now that Neil has brought up all of those questions, I am way more curious about what is in the future. Right? Is this season going to be one episodic story, or is it going to be a story arc with the story arc with the story arc? Right? Are we going to get to that point where it is one-off stories? And I think eventually we will, but what will the first season look like? And I think it's going to be longer story arcs with maybe punctuated 1 or 2 stories. So I don't know, but a 4 is where I give it. I think it was above average for me. Didn't totally blow me away, but I was really engaged by a lot of what I saw. And I look forward to watching it again, to be honest. I'll probably rewatch it within the next couple of days. So
yeah, especially on your trip to Disney.
Indeed.
You know, you got something to, you got to have something to keep you busy other than Clone Wars.
Yep.
By the way, make sure you go view the video of the making. There's some I'm just going to give you a spoiler that there is some content for our show coming up next month that you'll want to see. Yes. But you know, I'm going to make a leap of faith. Just like just like the what was the name? Danny, Dhany or something like that.
It was like Dange or something.
Yeah, so, you know, just like her, I'm going to take a leap of faith on this, and I do look forward to it. The opening act before the opening credits, that it hooked me. It really hooked me. Yes, there were some uncomfortable areas, but I think it was intentional comfortable from the director.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly something that we're going to be looking forward to each week. But with that being said, I'm right on board with you. A 4 out of 5, because we didn't see the likes of the Next Generation crew except for in the coming up this season on Picard role. So we do know that he is getting the crew. We do know they're going to end up getting a crew, because he literally says, you need a crew. So, but this is, this is the Escape Pod cast. We've, this is the preview episode, if you will, the rundown of the first episode of Talking Picard. And we really hope that you will join us on Sundays. If this is not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. Don't worry. You know, we still love you, and we're still going to be doing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcasts for as long as this game is around, or until Nev ends up launching himself out of an airlock. So
we'll see. We'll see once we once I'm placed in the group.
I've got to say though, from what I understand on my research, the case is still open on who launched Scotty. Am I? No. It's
Settled. It was Heinze.
It was Heinze? It was absolutely Heinze, because he did. We even have the motive. So
okay.
I would get in touch with the llama. She's been trying to get in touch with you, I think.
Okay.
Well, but it's done. Thaddeus, why don't you go ahead and close out your comments with your tagline, and then I will send us off into space ourselves.
All right. Well, this has been Paul, Thaddeus, and the inconquerable spirit of the Nev for Talking Picard, and as always, part of the Escape Pod Castaways. Join us next week. Join us every week. Join us wherever we can be found. And as always, my friends, our friends, smile and stay nerdy.
With that being said, everybody, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Be nice to each other, damn it. And with that being said, Nev, push the button.
You got it, mate. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gotta be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.